Hey, all AKs? I guess I'll join the party.
Hell yeah. Pretty neat looking AK right there.
Chrome AK, yeah.
Hey, you're that YouTuber, aren't you?
Hi, how are you?
Alright.
ACS Airsoft's Noobday event. An event that, in all retrospect, should have been amazing for me. The field was diverse in its layout, players were decked out in some awesome loadouts, and so many fans came to the Evike booth to come and say hi and just to hang out with me. And on top of all that, I was finally getting the chance to use my brand new mirror finished LCT AKM straight from the box and onto the field. And then everything went down the tubes from there. It is not too often that something I take right out of the box completely to bed at an event. But sadly, this $600 plus LCT stainless steel AKM did it. And actually, I would have preferred this thing to have blown up in flames on camera just because it would have made for a better video. But instead, I got misfeeds after misfeeds, jams, weird selector plate issues, and more. I mean, I couldn't even shoot this thing more than a few shots before it started to smell like it was burning. So let's go ahead and take a look at everything we can, from the unboxing to the performance and the exterior looks. Thanks to LCT, who sent me this stainless steel AKM and are letting me say anything I want about it. Yeah, this video will definitely be a test of that. Alright, so if you hate hearing me talk trash and be negative about anything, then this isn't going to be the review for you, because I'm already going to start by grilling the packaging. This is the exact same box you'll be getting with just about any other standard LCT. And keep in mind that this is a limited edition, one of 500, $600 plus replica that most people are going to display. And I'm sure that LCT is proud of these. I could just be nagging here, but I just expect some more glitz and glamour than this. Stripping the AK and the magazine, and ignoring the box as I did, first impressions are admittingly amazing. I love gold and silver. All the gaudy stuff that a lot of other people hate is what I like. And this thing had a lot of people at ACS Airsoft asking me questions about it. People really didn't think I was serious when I said I was going to go onto the field with this thing. And if you're trying to get a lot of attention fast, then this is one of those replicas to use. It is like reverse camouflage though. You're not hiding from anyone using this. I legitimately even had a hard time looking on the sights of this thing when the sun was out, because this AK reflects everything. Then, as mentioned, its hand-polished body is all stainless steel with some really good-looking red wood for the furniture, and a really good-looking plastic grip, in my opinion. I really would have preferred to have had everything that was metal in the same mirror finish, but if you're not a stickler, then I guess this is fine. You're gonna find some black parts here and there. Now, for some people, I can already hear the question. So it's a shiny AK. Is that it? Well, honestly, yes. If you've ever had any other LCT AKM, or you've at least handled one, then this is the same exact thing. Just this one is wearing some kind of Call of Duty camo. There's no MOSFET in here, no special compression parts or a barrel. This thing still has the old school slider hop-up that other LCT AKMs have. And, of course, there's no fuse. But that's not why you get this. It's not advertising to be anything that it's not. It's just a shiny AK, and for a lot of people, that's all they need to hear to fork over $600. And these are not having a hard time selling. I've tried to do the same review a couple times now, but they just keep selling out. So none of my problems reside there. Moving along, I know that everyone knows how to use an AK, so I'm just going to rush past all the controls. This is your selector switch. It pains me to use it because I know it scratches the body, but it works just fine. No complaints. The hop-up adjuster is exactly the same as I showed in my LCT RPK review. It works, but I would upgrade this to something else, especially as it has the same flat hop-up nub and bucking. I am happy to see that the iron sights and properly sized cleaning rod are in the same mirror finish as most of the body, but these sights can be very difficult or even impossible to pick up on bright days due to the glare, and that is with the front sight post being in black. Remember though, we are playing Airsoft, so you're going to be tracking your BBs as you shoot them. Don't even lie to me, because we all do that. Oh, and you should also remember that you're basically a small star on the field if you're running around with this thing. We do have 14mm counterclockwise threads under the orange tip or the proper muzzle brake, so that's always nice to see. And sadly, the battery connections are in the stock. They're small type Tamiya connections, and again, you don't have a fuse connected to the wires, nor do you have a MOSFET, meaning that I can't suggest that you use an 11.1 LiPo battery. You'll be arcing your trigger contacts and eventually damage them to the point of failure, as I've done before, several times, like an idiot, when I first started off. So that's just my warning to you. There is a lot of room in here for 7.4 LiPo batteries though, so feel free to use it. But you will need a flathead screwdriver or something else to help you get these screws out so you can get to the battery connections. It's a little annoying, I know. You don't need to replace the replica cleaning kit door, but since it's another thing you could lose, I make sure to put it back whenever I use an LCT with one. Now, if you would like a full breakdown of the gearbox inside, then let me refer to the LCT RPK review that I just did a couple weeks ago, as it's the exact same thing on the inside, just with a longer inner barrel. And if you want a second or third opinion, then I always suggest doing your own research to compare and contrast statements and findings. It's a great way to look into quality control and to find out even more information that I or other enthusiasts have found. I know some people are going to consider this a cheap way out, but I for one f***ing hate taking LCT AKs apart, especially if it's the exact same thing I said in the literal last review. What you really want to hear is the reason why I basically had to scrap any gameplay video that I had planned for ACS Airsoft's Noobday event. The reason why I'm pretty pissed off at this beautiful paperweight. Well, the damn thing just doesn't want to feed. Not from its own magazine, not from the stupid extra long magazine, not from any LCT magazines that I own. Not unless I hold the magazine into the magwell the entire time, and even then, I can't trust semi to always work. This happened a lot, on top of all the misfeeds, double feeds, and the 2 jams that I had off camera. They weren't anything I couldn't clear with an unjamming rod. But no one carries an unjamming rod on the field, so I had to leave the field, then come back onto it, just for my AK to still misfeed. You know how silly it is to have some $600 plus super shiny AK that people think is gonna wreak havoc on the field, just for it to shit its pants and have people go from impressed to laughing at it?
Yeah, their mags only feed if I hold it back.
I'd be so pissed.
Even the one that's specifically made for it.
When I went to go get it chronoed at the Noobday event, a few players and I couldn't help but to crack jokes about this being a pain to get past chrono because the misfeeds and double feeds. When it does work though, it is consistent at the chronograph. However, it's still nothing really special. Even I was laughing at how stupidly desperate I was acting to get this thing to work consistently on the ACS field. And I could smell the scent of burning plastic very quickly into games coming from the motor grip. I, no lie, was hoping that it would blow up in a ball of flames in my hand so I would just be done with it. At least that would make for a really special video. At the end of the day, after 3 or 4 games of trying to make this thing work, just fully turned my brain off and pretended it was actually firing BBs as I ran around with my teammates in a juggernaut game where we weren't just getting hit a couple times, we were getting blasted with like 10 to 20 BBs at a time. I was actually having more fun with that game than any of the other ones because I just stopped caring. I was basically just there with my teammates as moral support. Now, I'm not saying that all the stainless steel AKs by LCT are acting up like mine. I've only found 2 other owners, and while one said that his was having the same problems as me and had returned his, the other owner said that his was working just fine, but told me that maybe because of each of these being hand polished, some may have had a little bit too much taken away from the magwells. And that makes a lot of sense because none of my other LCT AKs have this much play in the magwell. And I have 4 other standard LCT AKs that I've tried out, and they all feed fine.
I hate that I have to hold it like this. Like, hold it, whatever.
I still have the same complaints that I've always had about LCT's standard AKs, but at least they freaking feed from damn near any magazine I use. So here I am, with a $600 beautiful AK with some pretty great range at 200 feet and even at 250 feet. It's pretty much the exact same performance that my RPK has. Easy at 200 feet and a little challenging, just a little bit challenging at 250. But if you throw a few extra BBs downrange, then you'll hit anything. Not consistently, but with a hop-up upgrade, you should be better off.
He's hit. Woo, that was close. I saw the shadow of that BB come by.
I still had to ram the magazines into the magwell for him to feed for this bit, but whatever.
And yet again, while in the middle of doing the range test,
I will note that magazines that barely fit into any of my other AKs due to how tight they normally fit work amazingly in the stainless. Probably because those tight-fitting magazines make up for the lost millimeters in material that I mentioned was taken away from the magwell.
that actually might have been the best feeding magazine. Okay, so I can feed. No, I can't. Okay. Now I can.
Go down to the right. I say we're getting paid here. We need to move up.
Man, these magazines do not want to feed.
Now, if you're only getting this $600 AKM as a showpiece to hang up, like I guess I'll be doing, or to attract customers, as a lot of store owners do with certain replicas, then this will do the job. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's hard to take that away from it. But if you plan to run this as you would with any other functioning airsoft replica, like I tried to, then I would hold on to your receipt just in case you have any of the issues that I've had with mine. I could be the unluckiest stainless steel AKM owner on the earth, but this remains as a test of quality control that always eventually uncovers faults. But that's why I always say now to look into more videos than just mine if there are any that you can find, or at least try to look into articles that other people have written. I know that I'm privileged with the job that I have, thanks to the amazing people who watch what I put out, but I would be pissed if I dropped the kind of money that these things demand for the results that I got. It would go straight back to the store, no questions asked. And thankfully, most places would honor a return with something that has this many problems stacked onto one single replica. But I don't like pointing out a bunch of problems and lending zero constructive criticism back. That hardly gets anything fixed. And as someone who really enjoys LCT's variety in their catalog, along with having a lot of great experiences with many of their other replicas, I'm going to say this next part as someone who simply wants a company to succeed even more than they have before. This is my form of tough love. LCT, it's time to upgrade the tech in your gearboxes for all future releases moving forward, if you're not planning to already. And if you are, then you need to really hurry up. I know some of your AKs are coming with gate asters, but you really should make that mandatory. Make it easy to replace them though, so if customers don't like them, they can swap them out. Next, add external followers to all of your magazines. I don't think a single person on the earth would hate to see that. I firmly believe that I wouldn't have had as many feeding issues or any feeding issues at all with this AK at ACS Airsoft if I had left all my LCT magazines at home and brought some other brands' magazines. Next, change up the hop-up and bucking assembly. Rotary hop-ups are the thing now, and your replicas could become even better performers with some new 2-point of contact nubs. Accuracy could become a lot better, so let's tighten that up. I feel like LCT keeps a lot of the replicas as simple as possible because they know the airsoft community will do their own mods anyway. But all of these points and a few others are leading to more and more disgruntled customers. And I'm not just talking out of my ass here or pretending I'm some kind of business guru. I'm echoing what so many techs and longtime players I've talked to have said for years. And whenever I do an LCT review, there's always some comments telling me about problems like these. And away from YouTube, I talk to a lot of people. I like to pick apart well-educated people's brains with dozens of questions until they just want me gone. I kind of pride myself in that a little bit. Besides all that though, I'll summarize the rest by saying that LCT has made yet another beautiful piece that might open the door to some even more glamorous replicas in the future. If they figure out how to do this same treatment but in gold, then they could do it to any of their AKs and people would be lining up for a new wall hanger or cabinet piece. Or imagine an oil-stained or mock case hardened look. But LCT needs to address some of their long overdue problems and take a look at their quality control a little more. For now though, I'm going to put this thing on a stand somewhere that people can see it after I get rid of all the fingerprints. And I'm going to think about how if I go back to ACS Airsoft for another event, I'm going to bring a bunch of backup replicas. All in all though, Noobday was a whole lot of fun for me. The Juggernaut squad that I met out there were some of the most unique players that I've met, and so many costumes I saw had me laughing. The raffle of course was huge, and it all went to a great cause to help with good mental health. Of course, I will be leaving information to get yourself to this field in the description down below. And for the people and personal friends who have been supporting me and just showing love while all the dumb rumors and talk was being swung around in the process of working with all my ACS Noobday footage to make this video, I genuinely appreciate every last one of you. I've had a huge backlog of other videos I had planned before even going to ACS Airsoft, so I wanted to get ahead of all of that, and then when all the problems kept screwing with me at the event, I knew I had to work my footage around some kind of video. No one wants to see me just being pissed off and complaining about my gun not feeding the whole time on the field, even if the gameplay on that field was awesome. I've seen just about every bit of nonsense that's been said, for the most part because people are actually concerned whenever someone tries to talk down about me in any way. So I get messages and emails in seconds, and the actual rational defense that people lined up, no lie, was very heartwarming. I gotta admit that it was pretty funny reading through some comments of several posts on several platforms and just seeing walls of support, so thank you for that. I also appreciate the fan art from Sanity Space. I don't really get that much fan art. To think that somebody's actually drawing airsoft YouTubers is actually kind of fun to me, so thank you very much for that. But until that next video drops from the city of San Antonio, this has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I will be sure to see you all next time. What do you think about this? You licked my nose. What do you think about this? Yeah, she doesn't even want it.
Oh, that damn banana. Oh, shit.
I thought that was a grenade.
Sorry. That would have sucked.
I was like, damn, really good throw.
Oh, you got the gold eagle.
It ain't gonna matter much from over here though.
No.